Hello, and welcome to this week's program of the Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley. My name is Farheen, and I thank you all for joining us today. Each week, we connect with and hear from speakers who usually have a message focused on our love for innovation, entrepreneurship, and education. Today, we have an extra special presentation by Noëlla Coursaris Musunka, philanthropist, international model, and founder and CEO of Malaika. She will be talking about the importance of education in empowering girls and their communities in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and throughout the world. But before we get to our speaker, I'm going to share a little video with you all about Malaika.
I started working with Malaika in 2014. I have been here for 5 years now. I can see the change, not only in the children's lives, but also in the community as well, and with the people that we work with. I think the biggest impact of Malaika here in Kalibuka is the empowerment. They have empowered girls, they have empowered women, and they have empowered the community to have a voice. When you start at the younger level, the girls are more impressionable, they're more easier to work with, and they have big dreams which have not yet been tarnished. With Malaika, giving them their voice, giving them back their decisions, giving them back their rights, they have grown to be able to use that in each and every area of their lives.
Wonderful. So with that said, Noella, please take it away.
Hi everyone, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
The video was cut at the beginning. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. I will explain you from the beginning. Thank you for the introduction. Like I say, I'm Noëlla Coursaris Musunka, and in 2007, I founded Malaika, a non-profit organization that seeks to empower girls and the communities in the DRC Congo through free access to education, clean water, and healthcare. I'm a mother of 2 children. I'm also an ambassador for the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. I would like to tell you a little bit background of Malaika, why I set up Malaika. I was born in Congo, but my father sadly passed away when I was only 5 years old. My mother didn't have any resources to keep me, and I was the only child. She sent me away to live with relatives. I received a good education and learned to take care of myself at a very young age, but it was a very hard childhood, being away from my mother and have very little communication with them for so long. I was finally able to return to Congo 13 years later. So I left at 5 and came back at 18 years old. And I was shocked at the condition my mom and the sibling and neighbors were living in conditions similar to the community where we landed Malaika. No electricity, no running water, lack of proper infrastructure, and little access to school or healthcare. Basically, a hard life ahead of them. I saw these beautiful young girls with little hope for their own futures. And I was struck with the thought that would have been me if my mom didn't send me in Europe. Right then, I put so strongly on my heart that I had to do something to empower these girls, their communities, so that they could have the same rights and opportunities as any girls across the world. I wanted them to be well equipped to pursue whatever dreams, the goals that they had. I founded Malaika in 2007, and it's been, after my children, the most important things that I did in my life. I lead Malaika on a volunteer basis. I don't take any salary. Here you will see our girls on the first picture here. They doing, when the COVID crisis happened, they built more than 1,500 mask shields that we gave to more than 60 hospitals. Next page, please. We know that more than 262 million children are out of school worldwide. More than 49 million of girls sub-Saharan in Africa are out of school. Next slide, please. Malaika. Malaika is in the southern east of the Congo, where there is no water, where there's no electricity. When we started to build Malaika, we needed to build not only the school. Every year we were adding one classroom, but we had to build the toilets and facilities. And in order to have that, you had to build a well because there's no water. So when we build a well, we have hundreds of people every day coming to fetch water. And I was like, oh my God, I just wanted to build a school. But seeing the condition of the village, you will have no choice than to build wells. So over the 13 years, we build wells. 20 wells and impact 35,000 people. We're working with 4 pillars. The school that we built and manage it, and I will come more into detail about it. The community center that we built that impact youth and parents, that we're impacting more than 5,000 people a year. The 20 wells that we built, and the food that we're growing in our garden farming, and the food go to the canteen of the school. Next, and the way that we did it, the ecosystem that became Malaika after 13 years is an ecosystem that you can duplicate it by steps in any countries and any context all over the world. We started only with 104 girls, and now we have 370 girls. And when the school will be completely finished, it will be 430 girls. They arrive at 5 years old until 18 years old. It's a village where the family earn maybe $1 a day. So we make sure we provide to our students the shoes, the underwear, the uniform. They have breakfast, they have lunch at the school. We constantly upgrading our curriculum, and we training our teachers with top class notch teachers from all over the world. Next slide. They learn music, coding, they have sport activities. We give them the same chance as my kids going to school in England, and we try to unlock them the potential, what they like, what the career path they want to follow, and to make them think out of the box. Next slide. We teach them to recycle, to plant trees, to care about their environment. All our school is on solar panel because the lack of electricity in the village. It took us over 10 years to build the school because every year the fundraising is very tough to fundraise to build and then to pay the operational costs. This is Abigail. She would like, she's in the lockdown, she helped headmasters to tidy the classroom and organize the task. And she wants to be a businesswoman and she loves computing. The next slide. This is, our curriculum is very effective because for 4 years in a row, our girls on 6th primary, they have to pass a national test all in the country. And for 4 years in a row, we passed the national test. The Minister of Education came to see us. What is the success of Malaika? And the success of Malaika is the holistic curriculum that we offer to our students. And this year we did something different. We brought 9 girls that were very brilliant from the 5th primary to pass the national test. So they passed the national test 1 year in advance, and they all passed the national test. And you have to think that the school was closed for 4 months. So we had to go in the village because there's no electricity, they don't have tablets. We have to go in the village and distribute it to homework and the tasks that they have to do, and go back a few days later, give them other homework and tasks. So we have an amazing, amazing, amazing team on the ground. Next slide. This is all the things that they're learning at school, from STEM education, VPL, blocking, Scratch language, Page on iPad. They know better than me because me, I'm so bad on IT stuff. And we have a teacher from Harvard and Northeastern University. He's training all the STEM and maths program. And we are from the diaspora. And we have a software engineer that in Seattle, that's training all the coding. So you see, people can donate their time with their skills, and that's very valuable. Next slide. This is all the staff. For me, seeing the issues of Africa, I see so many foundations. I see so many foundations that were run by international people, And I think it's very important to partners, but it's very important to empower the community and to empower the staff. So all the local staffs are from Congo and Africa. And we have a lot of volunteers all over the world, and 85% of the money we raise go back to the programs. We lost Miriam a few years ago, and it was a big wake up for her. She was 6 years old, the same age as my son. And she died of malaria between Christmas and New Year. When our students are at our school, we can really see we can monitor the health. And if they have any issue, we bring them at the hospital. But the fact that it was between Christmas and New Year, when the family called us, Miriam died. And it was a big wake up for us. You cannot do education without health. You need to invest in health. And it's the reason we set up a school health center at our school in the memory of Miriam. Next slide. This is the nutrition program. If they will not have the nutrition program at our school, they will probably eat only 2 times or 3 times a week. So we make sure at our school they have breakfast and they have lunch. Next slide. This is Marceline. Marceline, she's been 10 years at our school. She arrived at 5 years old, and now she's nearly 14, 15. She's an amazing girl. She's been selected. Most of the girls have been selected. We built a tennis court at the school, and they're very good as students, actually. And 16 of them have been selected to play at the provincial team, and they all win. And the 2 best ones won everything, Louise and Marceline, and they will go compete at the national level. So you have to imagine that our girls coming from a poor background, most of them sleep on the floor, going into the town where all you have these privileged kids that are doing tennis as a luxury. And we have our girls that coming to beat all of them. For me, it was like, it gives them, a lot of confidence and a lot of pride that wherever they're from, they can compete with anybody. Next slide. And this is a community center that we build with FIFA, in collaboration with FIFA. We provide them literacy, farming skill, entrepreneurship, and community building, sporting initiative, using sport as a tool for social development, where we talk about children's rights, women's rights, about unity, about peace, about the COVID-19, the Ebola crisis. And every class is occupied with different classes, entrepreneurship. We created a brand called Mama ya Mapendo, Mothers with Love. We do with the mothers, we teach them to sewing. And from that, all the accessories we're making, we're bringing back the money to the community center and the school. And you cannot educate kids without educating their parents. So this community, we're asking every parent of a student that their parents come at least to learn basic at a community center. And for me, it's one of the most beautiful and powerful things that you can do. Because the parents, when the school were closed for 4 months, 98% of the kids came back to our programs. And a lot of schools in Africa, maybe it was around 70%, because girls got married, girls got pregnant. But our parents, because we've been working with so many years with them, they understand the importance of education. Next slide. This is all the sewing programs where we're making the uniform of the student, where we're making accessories, and we're selling them for the income of the programs. Next slide. This is the COVID-19 response was very tough because the food completely jumped in price in Congo and in a lot of countries in Africa. So we had to make sure that our kids were still having food, and the villages, we wanted to help the villages. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we were distributing food, and we distributed food over 6,000 people. We make mask sewing, and we distributed that in the villages, and we make the mask shield with a STEM program, and we make sure to give the hygiene resources that were key to the villages. Next slide. This is all what's happening at the community center. We teach boys, youth, mothers, fathers. Next slide. This is all the sport activity. Next slide. This is our organic farming, where we grow our own food, and it goes back to the canteen of the school. And we teach the youth about organic farming, and we try to have the families to really try to grow their own garden. Next slide. This is the 20 wells that we built and refurbished, and that's providing water to the population. Next slide. So this is really the ecosystem, the education, the community center, the agriculture, and the water. And we're writing a toolkit that we will finalizing next month, and we want to share with the experts, NGOs, and individuals and corporate how they can duplicate this model to any villages or contexts all over the world or communities. We've been very lucky. I did modeling for many years. I still do a few campaigns a year, but I choose very carefully what I do. We've been invited to Harvard, to MIT, to UNICEF, to speak about the work that we're doing and how it's important to emphasize not only on education, but to really emphasize on quality education, that our kids can compete with any kids all over the world. Next slide. And that's it. That's where we are, Malaika. And a lot of people ask us how we fundraise. We fundraise to run all the programs after 13 years for Malaika. It costs nearly $400,000 a year. The way we fundraise is writing grant application. It's through individual that sponsor girls a year, sponsor girls a month, or contribute to the nutrition program or the school supplies, or contribute to teacher salaries. And people spread the word about Malaika in social media, and they do events when we were able to do events, or they run marathon. And a lot of people come in the Congo to give their time, their skills. And during the year, we have nearly 15 volunteers that giving their skills on different categories to help us either on marketing or grant writing or the social media. So that's what we are. It's difficult to explain 13 years of work. It's been a lot of challenges to work in a country like Congo, where the political instability, where the country was at war for 20 years, where we lost more than 6 million people. Is a country that is building, is a beautiful country, so much magic on the ground, not only with our minerals, because the world depends on the minerals of Congo. We are all linked with Congo because 70% of what you have in your phone, the cobalt, the coltan, come from Congo. What we have in green energy, in green cars, the lithium, on iPad, lithium, cobalt, all of that, 70-80% come from Congo. But now is how to educate an educated population, educated kids, that will think a different way, that we need to transform our continent to really have a best chance, to really make the most that we can build roads, hospitals, and we don't depend only on aid. So I believe that in life you have to give back. I believe in life that is important to leave a legacy, that is important to have equality. I would like to see in the next 10 years to have more half of the continent to be women presidents, and not only have 2 or 3 presidents out of 54 countries in Africa. And we have amazing girls like Anna that want to be an engineer, Audience that want to be a journalist, Rachel that want to become a doctor. And these girls, they will lead not only their community, but they will lead their community and their country, and hopefully the continent. When they around 18, we are creating a student fund that we will help them to do to go on the career path, if they want to do a technical school, or if they want to do university, or whatever they want to do. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer.
Yes, great. Thank you so much for your presentation, Noella. That was incredible. And before we go to the question and answer period, I just wanted to quickly introduce the other members and guests on the call. So when I say your name, please wave. We have Sviatko, who is currently in South Africa. We have Armand, who is here in California in Silicon Valley. We have Jens in Germany. We have Martina, and I believe you are in Spain, correct?
Yes, correct. I didn't realize before that I was muted. Yes, I'm in the south of Spain, but I'm like Jens, I'm from Germany.
Oh, very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have Vandana, who is in India. So thank you all for coming. And I wanted to open it up to any questions. Who would like to ask the first question? Sviako, go ahead. And then Jens, you can go right after.
So first, Noella, thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing. I really appreciate the holistic approach that you're taking, not just with education, but also with the agriculture and the health and the community center. It seems really powerful. So thank you for your leadership in that. Very quick question from me. What does Malaika mean? And how did you choose that
mean angel in Swahili. You know, I didn't want a name that been linked to me. I wanted Malaika that if tomorrow I die or anything, it's a legacy, that it will stay there. And for me, when you ask someone of the team or the community or anybody around Malaika, what Malaika mean for you, one of them will say it's because we're working with water, sanitation. One will tell you because it's about education. Another one will tell you because it's the impact we have with the community. Another one will tell you is because we're doing sport. So I wanted to feel related to what we are instead of me as a person.
That's incredible. Thank you. Jens.
Another question or it's fine?
Actually, I had the same question, but also I just wanted to say an absolutely inspiring presentation, and thank you so much for this presentation and for what you're doing. I've been involved with a couple of projects that an organization that I'm with is working on in India, for example, and absolutely inspiring. Thank you so much. It's great.
Thank you very much. A lot of work and a lot of pressure, but to see the girls growing emotionally, physically, it's really what keeps us going.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yes.
Great, thank you. Vandana, go ahead.
Yeah, what are the public schools like in Congo? Are there any government-run schools?
First of all the public schools.
What kind of facilities do they have?
All the our school is free. All our programs are free. The problem in Congo, all the school you have to pay. So a lot of families cannot afford to send their children. And if they have money, they will send first the boys.
Okay.
So the quality of the school, I cannot really comment. I think they are good. I think Malaika is really good. For the way providing the quality education.
See, it actually varies from country to country as to what are the mix of the public education and the private education and the component of the NGOs. So that is why I try to ask, because education is a state subject after all.
Yeah, it's a state, but if you want to bring the bar level, a high level, you need to push. You know, since we put Malaika, the Minister of Education came to see us. He says, really good what you've been doing, because now when people building schools, they really think about Malaika. They know they cannot go lower. They have to do better or even higher. The curriculum, that's the problem. You need really to work with experts that come in to strengthen every time our programs. And even now working with the technology. So we have teachers from Switzerland, from Belgium, from New York that come really to help us to strengthen all the things that we're teaching.
So are you a Rotarian yourself?
What are you saying?
Are you a Rotary?
Cannot hear.
Are you a member of the Rotary?
No, I'm not a member of the Rotary.
Yeah, because in India, like we have tied up with the Rotary, the government schools, under the WASH program, where the Rotary clubs actually are improving the infrastructure of those schools. And the state is improving the teachers' content and other stuff. Like those are free for students, both girls and boys. and no one can be denied education because everybody has to get admission, even if they have not studied. Like suppose there is a 12-year boy who never studied, will get admission if he arrives from a village or from any other place, like whichever part of India, they will get admitted to the local government schools, and the school will have a responsibility to pull them up to speed. But the infrastructure may be lacking, so Rotary steps in to improve the infrastructure.
Great, thanks, Vandana. So let's move on to, we have a few more questions, and then we'll have to end the recording. So Martina, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to ask back, is there really absolutely no public free school system? Because I remember that during I have my postgrads a little bit in that direction in development management, and I'm very tied to the education, in different ways. So I'm very, very estranged that there is absolutely no public free school system, because it broke during or before the civil war in Sierra Leone. It broke the president's neck, having said that there is no right to education, and this is so many years later. So that's basically my question. And then a remark on India, on Rotary in India. I mean, Rotary is very, very strong in India, and therefore it's so extremely tied. Also, the Indian Rotary clubs have a lot of global grants, even here with Spain, with a platform in Israel, but maybe one can help Africa that way too. But I would like to ask the question, because I can hardly believe it, that there is absolutely no free school education. I find it shocking.
So the Rotary, there's some private members in the Congo, and we have some of the volunteers in the Congo. They are linked with these clubs. And for instance, one of the private club did replace the tank of water and things like that. There is not a lot of public school free in the Congo. And if they are, they're not really in a good state, and they don't offering the good way. I set up Malaika School because the same chance I'm giving to my kids, I want the same chance for these girls. And I want to push our government and NGOs on the ground to bring the education higher, because it's no way that the Kalibuka is 45 minutes from one of the most important mining town in the world, where you're seeing trucks non-stop of mining leaving the town, but where the population live under $1 a day, where they don't have water, where they don't have electricity, no access to internet, where the population, the mortality rate in Congo is 42 years old. So for me, it's a full education that we will elevate a country like that. There is just a few public schools, free, but not a lot. Most of the school in the Congo, and I don't know about in Cameroon, Armand, you have to pay to put your school. I have nephew, I have siblings, they're my half siblings, and I have siblings, and their kids go to school, and all the kids have to pay school. And privately, me as Noella, I pay the school because I help my sisters. So that's the way we are. And the way that the state has school, I think we need a big change in the continent. We need high quality education.
Great.
I totally agree. Thank you so much.
Armand, I want to know a question from you. Armand, is the school in Cameroon you have to pay?
Yeah, they're not free. You have to pay, and the fees are going up and up. Because not only you have to pay, you have to contribute to buy some of the furnitures.
Exactly.
They came out with a system where they call them associations of parents. And association of parents, you have to, the fee increases every year because you have to contribute, pay for teachers, also at state schools. And so it's I mean, there's so much we can spend all day talking about this. It's just, and those parents, they don't have any money. So a lot of
and that's the problem of Africa. Most of the schools are paid. And, we selected 25 kids in the village that come a lot to our center, and they have a huge potential. And we're paying the school in a school nearby Kalibuka, and we're paying the fee of the school.
So can I quickly ask a question, though?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you again for agreeing to come. And I've been following the work you work for a year on the continent. This is more like one of the reference in terms of how, the impact you made in the, in the community. And I would like to ask you, because I know that with NGOs, especially in Africa, we have a lot that have not been successful, because even if they manage to raise money, they don't use it wisely. I'm glad that you just told us that you guys use about 85% on running everything, which is a very great number. 85% of the money raised to just go, everything just goes in there, which is very good number. And this is such a great model. I was wondering, do you have any collaboration with other NGOs like in Africa, kind of help them to learn from that and kind of implement that in other places if possible?
Yes, with the COVID-19, we've been completely behind work. So, you know, when the school and everything, all our program were closed for 4 months, we still have to pay all the staff because we wanted to make sure they were fine. A lot of schools in Africa struggled. They couldn't even afford to pay their staff. And thanks God, we have very loyal donors, but it was a very, very tough time. And you see, for over 12, 13 years, we've been investing a lot on the management and on the training of the staff. So we couldn't afford to lose them because the time we've been investing. Why we've been successful at Malaika, it's because we're very transparent with our finance. We have I think somebody needs to be on mute. We're very transparent with the money. We have auditing. We really show where the money goes. We do have monitoring, evaluation, data. So it's very a powerful way of showing where the money goes. And I don't take any salary myself. And we have very low cost of running the foundation. Of course, we have a program manager that's working part-time in America. But it's not easy to fundraise. And what I learned, Armand, I learned to say no to a lot of things, because unfortunately, to run a foundation and to lead a foundation and all our people, you need to be really focused on what you do. If not, you're gonna collapse yourself. And when we have the toolkit, we will do a little event for sure, and we'll invite NGOs, corporate, the World Bank, the Global Fund, and etc. to present them Malaika. And what we want to do is to offer anybody our expertise, how Malaika was set up and how it's successful, but a lot of challenge. And there's a few things I think we would have done differently, but it would be great if they can contribute in any way to our programs, either with skills or with food or with money. This way we can still be sustainable.
Great, thank you so much, Armand, for asking the question. For
I think I'll answer your question, Armand.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, I wanted to wrap up our little recording. And then, of course, if we wanted to stay on for a few more minutes and ask more questions, we totally can. And so Rotary members and guests, please make sure that you fill out the attendance section at the bottom of our page and leave us a comment. And, if you were inspired by what you heard from Noella, we have a link, a donation link at below this recording. And so we really encourage you all to open your pockets, donate a little bit to help out Malaika and the organization, because I was definitely inspired by what you all are doing. And so I hope that, as a club, we can be generous with that. So I wanted to say, Noella, thank you again for your wonderful presentation, and I will turn it back to you for your final words.
Yes, thank you so much. I always like to speak. I was very touched by Armand to invite me. I'm bombarded by a lot of invitations to speak, but he has a very nice way to ask me, and the way that he comes from Africa too make me want to, whenever I can come to speak and inspire people and say, more than ever, with everything happening in the world, we have all to work together. We are one community, and anyway I can help you, I invite you to visit Malaika on our website or to come in the Congo. Here is an invitation for my birthday, so the 17th December, 8 p.m. UK time. So we're doing my birthday virtually, so you should come to join us. It would be nice. And a lot of surprise, and it's gonna be Lokwa Kanza, an amazing African singer that's gonna come to sing and perform.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much again, and we will see the rest of you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.